Welcome back to the Breeze and Bants podcast. Here we are, episode 19, and I
baby.
am back with a bang, baby. I'm back. Daddy's back.
Daddy's back. No more crack. No more licking sack. We're just here to, I lost it.
Yeah, basically, I've been moving house. It's been very fucking hectic.
Been moving house. He's the size of a house. It's a good time to be alive, really. I'm like really hidden today. I'm like incognito. What one, Rev? I feel like I'm behind like a fucking singing microphone.
Goodbye,
so what? We get drunk. So what? We smoke vapes. Anyway, I'm actually gonna move slightly. This is cool. Anyway, for audio listeners, I'm just a bit out of the way, so I'm just slowly moving my microphone right now, and we are good.
How's your week been? What have you been doing?
Week's been good. Pretty chill. Been ill once again. I'm always fucking ill. I don't know what it is. I don't know why.
Don't have kids.
Don't have kids. Don't know what it is. Don't have kids. But yeah, I'm ill. Yeah, but I just get ill since I had the vaccination. Since I got vaccinated, I've just been ill all the time. So people told me not to do it, but I did. And how's your week been? I know you've been
It's been
busy.
very good. Yeah, I haven't been ill because I'm unvaxxed. So yeah,
Unvaxxed.
come get some unvaxxed dick, girls. Oh dear, Jesus!
You got that unvaxxed ball sacks. No.
My semen's gonna be worth millions.
Literally. Oh my god. Anyway,
Let's get into it anyway. Facts. You got any facts or not?
I have got no facts today.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I have only a couple. Then we're gonna jump.
He
right
said he had
into
one.
it.
I was like, oh fucking, your facts are shit. And then he's like, I got one, and now he's got like nine.
You got no fans. You got no facts.
You got no facts. Get in the bin. Anyway, come on, let's go.
Your brain alone burns around 400 to 500 calories a day.
My Apple Watch done pick that up, bro. Wait. Is this like standard IQ or is this like high IQ?
This is what the internet told me.
So okay, cool.
Yeah, a pretty shit fact, but I just thought
On to the
bring
next.
facts to the table. Here we are.
Bring in facts. Bring in facts. Bring in.
Approximately 10% of the people are left-handed.
Only 10.
10%.
5% of ginger, 10% of left-handed. Mix them together, you're fucked.
Yeah, and that's really about it.
Cool. Well, before we get into our topic today, as always, I just want to ask a little public
service announcement.
Please, everybody, if you are listening, watching, doing what you're doing, feeling crewing, please check out our socials, Instagram, TikTok, you know the score. Just check out our YouTube, subscribe. We've got 21 subs now, so we're getting there. Check out the TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Check it out. We're using like a new editing thing for like the TikToks and all that now, so hopefully that's a bit better. And within the next 4 weeks, we'll be in a new studio. We'll have a sofa, and it'll just be chill as fuck. So stick with it. Please hit that subscribe button, follow, and all that sort of shit. Boom. And now we are done with the intro shit. We today are going to be discussing the weird, the wild, the wonderful aliens and UFOs.
Excuse me?
Oh, UAPs.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry about that. That was like not on cue, but as soon as you looked at me, I was like, shit, I got fucked up. So yeah, I don't know where to start. I got like a little intro, so let's just get into it and we'll go from there. So today, we're going to be, like I say, talk about aliens, UAPs, UFOs. So UFOs is unidentified flying object, and UAPs are unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah, that
one. Corrected me on it, but didn't even know the acronym. Tinfoil hat, baby.
We go D1, boy.
So yeah, we're going to look at some statistics and like facts around the sightings, and just talk about like the topic in general. So the idea is when we do these like sort of open episodes like we did with ghosts, it'll be sort of just a overview, and then when it comes to like specific incidents, we'll touch on them, but not go deep like I do into your mum. We go deep on a deep dive episode maybe one day if we get the traction. Actually no, we'll do it anyway because fuck it, why not? So that's sort of where we are with that. Do you want to take the lead with anything? Do you want to just talk about anything first?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to go with, like, do you know, like, the first UFO sighting, or do you not want to go into that?
Go for it. I don't actually, I've written a load down, but I haven't got, like,
so
go on.
The first documented UFO sighting was the Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting occurred on June the 24th, 1947, when private pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed to have saw a string of 9 shiny, unidentified flying objects flying past Mount Rainier at speeds that Arnold estimated at around 1,200 miles an hour. This was the first post-World War II sighting in the United States that gathered nationwide news coverage and is credited with being the first of the modern era of UFO sightings.
1947.
1947, that's what it says.
That's the same year as the Roswell incident.
We'll get into that in a minute.
Okay.
New
Mexico, baby.
You lost me now. Including news report sightings. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, Arnold's description of the objects also led to the press quickly becoming the terms flying saucer and flying disc as popular descriptive terms for the UFOs. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, so while we're talking about 1947, may as well just get straight into it and talk about the biggest and well, there's two. So you've got like the Roswell incident,
yeah,
and then there's one which I actually haven't got any notes on, but I like know a little bit about it because it's what they call it, the British Roswell incident, and it's the Rendlesham Forest incident. Don't know if you heard about it.
No, I haven't.
So I'll talk about that first because I don't have loads of information, but I worked up like literally next to the forest. So on my lunch break, this was when I was not with my current company, everybody, it was my old one. They do a tour and they have like life-size copies of like the ship they said they saw and all this sort of shit.
Oh shit.
And you can go on this tour. It was so fucking sick. Like I would actually, it's 5 hours away, but I want to drive there to actually just do it. Rendlesham, it's near, fuck knows, it's up north. So essentially that's the biggest recorded UFO sighting in England. Essentially what happened is it was all high-ranking military officials who saw the object and whatnot, and they say it landed, something exited, and so on, and stuff was captured. And when it was captured, it was then couriered from Rendlesham all the way to
Porton Down? Was it?
Yeah, so that's what they say. In the middle of the night, they took all this shit to Porton Down, and no one knows anything else about it, pretty much. But the high-ranking military officials have actually come out themselves and spoken about it. And they say they physically saw beings, a ship, and all that.
That's quite interesting.
And I listened to a fucking 3-hour podcast on it. I should know more, but it was years ago. Like Madar days years ago when I listened to that. So it was like... So in the back of my brain somewhere.
Fucking hell.
But just not...
That's quite interesting.
Not there.
Let's have a little read on that or listen to that podcast. Because that...
Genuinely...
Because we're Porton Down so close to us as well. It's literally like for 4 or 5 miles
like
up the road.
2 minutes away. Yeah, it's crazy. So, and I think with that sort of thing as well, I want to get to the point where when we can go to places like that. So imagine if like this podcast got big enough where we could just be like, fuck it, we'll go and do like a fucking video of us like going to Rendlesham Forest and shit like that. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, it'd be good.
And go on a ghost hunt. I still want to do that anyway, off topic. Any statistics on UFO sightings, or do you want me to go through?
Yeah, you can
cool.
have a little jab off.
When it comes to UFO sightings, it's important to approach the data with caution. The statistics on UFO sightings can vary depending on the source and the methodology used to collect the data. One organisation that collects and catalogues UFO sighting reports is the National UFO Reporting Centre, known as NUFORC. In the United States, they receive thousands of reports each year, but not all sightings are thoroughly investigated or confirmed, which you can understand because, like, you go on TikTok, you go on YouTube, and there's thousands and thousands of videos, whether they're edited, doctored, real.
That's the thing nowadays.
So they're reported worldwide, and some areas have higher concentrations than others. The United States is more densely populated areas. They will have more sightings, like your California, your Florida, and all that sort of stuff, than places like here, for example, because there's no one here. And basically the public awareness in it's crazy as well, because in certain areas it's more like, let's say like Nevada, where Area 51 is, they're all alien mad, so they're going to report more than somebody in Salisbury. So that's one part of it, and obviously you've just got to like take into account that most of the sightings can be like misconstrued as other things. It could be something that you've seen and you thought, oh, it's a UFO, but it could be a fucking military thing that they, you know, there's so many different
that they're
reasons for
testing
it.
or something. Yeah.
Like they always say, like the weather balloons, you know, all that sort of stuff. Drones now, especially,
Yeah.
like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Um,
You can see the people getting mixed up with that.
and there's out of all of the sightings, there's only a very, very, very small number of them that can actually be classed as like unexplained. Like when you actually think about it, when you go onto the videos, they can look to like doctored, all that sort of stuff. The TikToks, the YouTube videos, when they get looked at by a professional, they're like, oh no, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. So, and they're independent professionals, they're not like government professionals and that sort of stuff. So that's where you've got to like, because you could go onto YouTube for 3 hours and walk out and be like, aliens are real.
Yeah. No.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Unless you actually look deep into it or actually took the videos for what they are, because you could. I seen one today when I was doing the research. It's like 3 lights in the sky, and I'm like, but that could be a drone. It could be anything, you know. But they're like, oh no, it's a UFO, and then the title is, I seen a UFO, and everyone's like, oh my lord, that's a UFO, and then
Clickbait.
yeah, exactly that. So there's that side of it. So when it comes to the stats and that, it's really hard to say, oh, there is X amount reported, because how many of them are fake, how many of them are real. But what we now know from the latest release of the US, when they did like all the release about all the UFO documents and all that sort of shit, wasn't it?
Okay.
You know heard about that?
Oh,
I can't remember the name.
I don't know.
But you had like Project Bluebeam
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But the most latest one was when they
Released that.
released all the documents and stuff, and the pilots said
The
that
pilot, the actual
chased
military
it.
of
Yeah.
those chased it. Yeah.
So
I
most-
actually did have some. I don't know if I've deleted
So-
it. Yeah.
essentially, what happened is the United States government has released previously classified information relating to the sightings and investigations. In 2020, the Department of Defense established the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. So that's when that was established.
Yeah.
The task force to investigate sightings by military personnel. In 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a report summarizing that their findings on UAPs. The report acknowledged that there were numerous sightings of unexplained aerial objects, but they could not definitely determine their nature or their origin. The report also highlighted the need for further scientific investigation and resources to better understand these phenomena. The release of information by the US government was a massive, like, significant shift in the approach to, like, the research in UAPs, UFOs, all that sort of stuff, and it was called the Disclosure Project. Okay, there's a Netflix documentary about it, all that sort of stuff. So
Is this Tic Tac? Yeah. The Tic Tac one.
yeah. So it's basically put it into the general public more, which is great. But the problem is, now that's gone back into the general public, there's more like sightings that may not be sightings, you know?
Right.
So it's like if, I don't know, a world famous Bigfoot documentary came out, there'd be 5 times more Bigfoot sightings because it's on people's minds.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So that's sort of
Like what? Sort of like speaking it into existence, or as in
yeah,
as
but
such.
even just like it's like when you buy a car, you buy that car,
Car
you
and
see
you see
it on
that
the
car all
road
the time.
constantly.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all you see, which is another madness.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you all go get into the 1947
Roswell. Oh yes, right. I fucking love this. This is like my
So
little
with
baby.
like that first sighting that I said about then, like 1947. I don't know if it was. I don't know what year it was, but
no,
is
what
that
month? 1947.
sorry?
is a
What
year.
month? Sorry, what month or year in when they done that nuclear explosion? When they
Yes,
but
that's
because
another thing.
That's when shit started to happen.
Well, yeah, so this is another thing as well. Like, obviously, with regards to sightings and stuff, they're always around nuclear power plants. And,
Yes.
like, you know, if you believe,
Can
like,
Yeah.
Go on.
Go on.
No, you go, you go.
Yeah. Because it was going to be another part of my conversation later on, but as you brought it up now
so-
with the nuclear stuff, you got in 2011 Fukushima,
yeah, Fukushima, yeah.
where they had, I think it was like
stupid
11,
amounts, yeah.
11 UFO sightings literally come up after.
Well,
I have actually got a little bit of
Most-
notes on it, to be fair.
most sightings that are seen around these nuclear things is like, then you just got to think about why. And then that comes back to, like, what you believe they are. Like, if you think, let's say, for an example, you believe in the Anunnaki side of it, right? Let's say you believe in Planet X. They come here, they they created human hybrids, whatever you want to call it, lizard people, da 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 da, and then we've now got to a point as a race where we've created nuclear power, and they go, oh fuck, they're going to destroy themselves, and they're coming to monitor the nuclear power, which would then go, again, something I'm going to bring up later on in this episode, would be why maybe the UFOs have so much to do with the pyramids, because they were the biggest, they were the first thing. It was either they built them or they seen them and they visited thinking, what the fuck is that? Because there's so many links to the pyramids, like power sources, and we will sort
energy
of touch
and all
on
that
that.
sort of stuff.
I think there will be an episode on the pyramids in itself. I think, as a side note, whilst we're here, you've got to understand is our research is still quite broad at the moment. We're not doing deep dives, so we're getting little bits of information on everything. So when it's all jumbled and we're chatting this, that, and that, it's more we're just giving an overview opinion with a little bit of the research. One day, maybe if this is actually a massive thing and we can put more time into it than we can, that will be a lot deeper. And then also when we've covered all the big range of basic shit we want to cover, we can go deep into my nan on those, and it'll be great. So carry on.
So on March the 11th 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear plant was the site of one of the worst nuclear disasters, even after an earthquake and subsequent tsunami caused its electrical grid to fail. The simultaneous disaster laid waste to much of the surrounding area, but miraculously the temple was untouched. The UFOs came after the explosion. There were so many of them, I was shocked, said the monk in the 4th episode of the Vice Studio Netflix docuseries Encounters, Light Over Fukushima. Radioactivity energy was leaking everywhere. I believe the UFOs come to readjust the flood of the radioactive energy in order to save us. That's my theory anyway, said Uzumi. Just like after the Fukushima disaster, UFOs have been documented repeatedly around the place where humans have stored nuclear activity. There are very clear connections between UFO sightings and nuclear sites, going back decades, said author Dr. Jensen Andresen.
Yeah, I mean, the nuclear power thing's crazy. It's all fucking nuts, man. When you actually think about it, what it could be or what that is, it's fucking mind blowing. So again, super off topic, right? You know when you're driving around for work, do you ever just think of, you just think about random shit, right? Mm-hmm. Because we drive for fucking hours. One time I don't know if I've said this to you, but I was driving and I was like, I wonder if I could make a movie, right? Hear me out. I had this fucking premise. Now, I'm copywriting this right now because this would actually, if I can speak to the right person, this would be fucking amazing. So, and this could be something to actually acknowledge because, right, imagine, pigs, yeah? Right? Mm-hmm. You put them in the wild, they turn into a boar in the wild. Right. They grow tusks, they grow hair, they genetically modify themselves to go with their surroundings. Mm-hmm. What's saying that humans cannot go up into imagine if a human spent that much time in space, their body morphed. Now think about it, right? The typical grey alien, so the big grey tall skinny cunt with big black eyes, right? Every part of that is to live in space. Yeah. Right.
There's a reason behind it.
Yeah. So every part of that body there is made to live in space. Tall and slender because of the lack of gravity and pressure and all that. Big eyes to be able to see in the dark and all that sort of shit. Grey because they're not getting any sun, all that, this fucking sort of shit. My movie premise was, imagine if the start of the movie, matey gets into a spaceship, or you start the movie in the future, there's aliens attacking this house, right? It's 50, 60 years on. Now, it goes back in time, and then matey boy and whoever gets on this spaceship, and they get stuck in space. They're in space for so long, like the pigs and the boars, their body starts to change. They find a way to get back to Earth, go back to their own house. Someone else is living there, and they're seen as aliens attacking. How fucking sick would that be? Obviously, you put a lot more detail into it, murder, love, but that's a sick.
And then you just put the EastEnders theme tune in it, dum 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 dum.
I had to say that. I've been on my mind for so long. I just thought about it. Or a book. Maybe I'll write a book one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask AI to write me a book and give them the premise. So, Roswell incident, baby. So, it's one of the most famous UFO sightings. It occurred in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico. The incident involved an alleged crash of an unidentified flying object, which some believe to be an extraterrestrial spacecraft. Initial reports from the US military claim that it was a crashed weather balloon, but many conspiracy theories emerged suggesting a government cover-up. The Roswell incident continues to be a subject of debate and speculation among UFO enthusiasts. Now, overview, boom. But the thing with the Roswell incident is you've got people who reportedly took shit home and had it tested. You've got
there was a lot of people
it
as
was
well.
on the newspaper, like people seen parts of this craft in Area 51, like all this stuff. It's the biggest one. It's what people hold on to because it was reported as a UFO. Then it was changed in the papers to be a weather balloon, and all of this, it was just mass change. You had FBI agents or Secret Service agents
going to people's houses and shit like that.
Taking back what they took from the crash site. People believe there was a body in the spacecraft which was taken back to Area 51. All this sort of shit.
But there was also a live, like, what couple were deceased, one was alive or something, I believe, something like that as well.
Yeah, they say that. I think one was alive and one died, and they took it back for testing or some shit. But it's nuts. Like the film Paul, right? Silly, right? You've seen it, but it's so thingy, right? Because in the film they've got little alien. They take him in. He helps the humans with this, and this. But then they take his shape and put it out to people so that when he's released, they're not scared of him. You know, and that's where I think the whole grey thing comes from. We'll get to our thoughts at the end because, like, my thoughts are crazy on this. But Roswell, again, it's something we'll touch on. But that's probably the most sort of the biggest and most heard of UFO incident. There is another one as well. Brief overview on this one. It's called the Kecksburg incident. So this sighting took place in 1965 in Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. The witness reported seeing a fireball in the sky that appeared to crash into the nearby woods. Many believe that the object was a UFO of extraterrestrial design and origin. Despite a thorough investigation by authorities, no definitive explanation was provided, leaving the incident shrouded in mystery. The Kecksburg incident remains one of the most intriguing UFO cases in history. So I got an overview of it. I haven't looked too deep into it because I think we'll do an episode on that anyway.
Yeah. It's with that though. There's also have you ever heard of like the Bledsoe family? The Bledsoe, like Ryan Bledsoe. He does a podcast as well.
No.
So basically, his dad and his brother went fishing into the woods.
Yep.
The dad lost the brother.
Right.
Went to look for him.
Is he the one who thought he got abducted for years and years and thinks he got probed and shit?
He didn't get abducted. Well, he did get abducted because he went for he thought he literally went for like an hour.
But he was gone for
for like 5 hours or something.
Yeah.
And ever since then.
Was he a trucker?
No.
There's a story about a trucker.
They were a massive Christian family, so a lot of God belief.
Oh, okay.
So there was like I'm trying to think now. So like with that religion, they don't like believe in that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah.
And so when that happened to the dad, like the church went against him and the family, and he went into real depression and shit like that. And then basically when he got abducted, he seen this woman.
Yeah, okay.
And she was the one that says, you're gonna go and tell people about this. And every whenever he wants to, there's always aliens in the sky next where
that's mad.
Yeah. It's called I can't remember what it's
that's like the guy who started the Disclosure Project, Stephen Greer.
Right,
Okay, so Stephen Greer, what he does is he goes into New Mexico and he does this fucking massive prayer group, and then they all believe they can see the aliens in the sky. He believes that he prays them into existence,
speaks them into existence.
Yeah, he was massive in the government and stuff, and he actually started the whole Disclosure Project. Dr. Stephen Greer, he's in great shape as well, which is really weird for a geek. But he's they go into the desert, they do these prayers, he's singing, light all these candles and all this sort of shit, and for all intents and purposes, from what you hear online, they appear. They just appear.
Right.
out of nowhere. It's a bit like Skinwalker Ranch. Constantly, people believe they're constantly seeing UFOs.
But like they're even like with this Bledsoe family, they're like coming to their houses and shit. Like even other like the friends and that, because it happened like when I was like real young and that when I was at school, and like shit was like out their windows, like objects coming into the houses and shit like that.
There's a massive connection with owls and aliens as well, isn't there? Like that. What's that movie? The Fourth Kind.
Fourth Kind. That tripped me.
That fucking scared the shit out of me. But then I realised it was a hoax, which is quite shit. But did you notice? You know, I was talking about that grey alien thing. Did you notice her face in the film? How it changed? It came all gaunt, and her eyes got like a little bit bigger and shit.
Yeah.
See, mad. Yeah. And I didn't even think about that until I rewatched it with Lena the other day because she was like, "Oh, like what the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah, it's weird." Yeah. And then I noticed it
because she was like wheelchair like bound.
Yeah.
Like, at the
and
end,
I was like, "That's like literally what I'm fucking saying, bro." Like, yeah, but it's all fake, so it's really annoying.
But is it though? How do you know?
Because it's been debunked. It was recorded in a studio, unfortunately, just like the moon landing. We'll get to that as well.
But yeah, that blood stuff. If I'll send you some.
Yeah, that's interesting. As you could tell, we don't actually share notes. We just fucking go at it.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much. Like, obviously, there's so many documentaries you watch about aliens, all that sort of stuff, where people have these like little ball pellets found in their body, which they believe is from aliens.
Yeah.
You've got all the abduction stories. You've got people who think they've shot them. They say they've got them. Similar with Bigfoot, but aliens is like definitely more believable because you can't tell me we live on this planet, on this rock, in this solar system, in this universe, in this fucking whatever, in this galaxy, and there's nothing else there. You know,
I get that.
Like how you. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump's aliens either. They're the immigrants, but like. You can't tell me there's not aliens. Like I don't believe that for a second.
See, I do believe in it. Like, yeah,
like when you think about
even if it's coming from other dimensions, or even if it's coming from the ice wall, or if it's do you know what I mean?
This is the thing. It's fucking.
It's what
is it? It's fucking who's Lizard Man, dickhead? What's his name again? Fucking Jeff something? No.
Who?
The guy who fucking talks about all the lizards and shit.
Sam? Who you know about?
The guy who talks about the Sam.
Who you on about?
He used to be the fucking sports presenter, didn't he? What's his name? He went on Joe Rogan anyway. He's the one who believes like in the fucking lizard fucking...
Not David Icke.
Yeah, fucking David Icke. Like, he believes they're interdimensional, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He believes it's like all to do with the spiderweb dimension, all this sort of shit, and they're just fucking interdimensional teleportation alien fucking beings that can, like, zip up human skin suits and shit. And when people start talking about that, that's when it's like, nah, that's not real.
Yeah, but then like... But
then you see the YouTube videos.
No, then like 5, you like, how many years ago, like, he says that, and then, like, they start bringing out fucking Netflix series and shit about it.
Yeah,
like,
no, it's nuts.
Like, what was that? Human carbon or whatever.
Altered carbon?
Altered carbon,
yeah,
like that sort of shit.
I haven't seen it, but it's really hard because with these sort of like conversations, like when you get into like the conspiracy side of things, you've always got the really far out there people.
Yeah.
Which make it really hard for, say, the normal person to be able to consider it. You know, because you got people who they're like, yeah, aliens are real. They zip up themselves, and that the Queen was a lizard, and Justin Bieber and Beyonce are fucking lizards, and they all drink kids' blood and all this sort of shit, and fucking da-di-da-di-da, allegedly, and all of this. And then the normal person's like, what the fuck are you on about?
It throws them off, and it's like, nah, that's too much.
But then you get the other side of people who say David Icke's a government plan to put you off of it.
Yeah.
You know? And then they start going...
And then, like, I think it's like Alex Jones and
exactly.
Israel and all that shit.
It's crazy because if you literally sit there and you ask 100 people, I don't know what the percentage would be. I really wish I asked.
I know we're going off topic a bit. Like, even with the Alex Jones stuff, like his fine, like of £1 billion or whatever, fucking stupid, like however stupid that is,
to try and to stop him.
But it's also to scare the fuck out of other people speaking about that shit, I believe.
Yeah, like to the point where even when we talk, there's certain things that we've had conversations about talking about, and we're like, probably shouldn't talk about that because I could get sacked or whatever. Like, you know, it's stupid shit. So there is like certain ways you've got to go around it. But I'm pretty sure if I went up to whoever John Doe on the street is and said, right, do you believe that in this whole universe we live in the millions of galaxies and all of this sort of shit, there's another life form? People will say yes.
Yeah.
The question is, have they been here? Now that's the question, you know, because I believe there are alien species, but it's, have they been here? And then you get people who start talking about like the bases on the moon or that sort of shit.
On the dark side of the moon, like you only see like the one side, and then on the other side where they're doing all the other shit.
And then you got like people talking about Planet X, the Anunnaki. So essentially, the idea of the Anunnaki is Planet X comes around once every X amount of like thousands of years. They then release these bigger beings onto us. The bigger beings then came down, created human hybrids with themselves to do the work. That was then Enki and Enlil, who were the two sort of leaders of the hybrids, and then humans, all this sort of shit. We were here to mine gold for them, and that's when they started becoming the government, and Enki and Enlil, the fucking human alien hybrids, are now all the government leaders and all this shit, and you're like, shut the fuck up. I'm actually at the point now where I'm like, shut up. If there's aliens, it's just going to be the greys that we think about seeing, in my opinion. You know?
Don't know. Could be walking amongst us, but who knows?
Lizard people, baby. The Queen Elizabeth. Okay, cool. Went on a massive tangent there. So another thing I want to talk about is the pyramids.
Okay.
And the ideas of like the UFO connection there. So
I didn't see anything on that sort of side.
It's more opinion based, and how can you build the pyramid?
Yeah.
You know, that's
They
what
was
it
a
all comes
man-made
down
for
to.
shit.
You know, you've got to think about the hieroglyphs as well, where they used to draw about aliens and UFOs, on hieroglyphics and stuff. And then you've got to think about the power that they believe the pyramids have, and the sightings of UFOs around pyramids, all this sort of shit. So I've written a little bit down. Bear with me while I get through it. So the pyramids and the recent release of UFO-related information by the USO government. Some theories suggest that ancient civilizations like the Egyptians who built the pyramids had encounters with extraterrestrial beings. These theories are based on various factors, including the alignment of the pyramids with certain constellations and the precision of their construction, which some believe would have required advanced extraterrestrial technologies. Now, I don't believe we could build the pyramids.
No, not
like,
for shit.
And it's like they say
like
as
how
well,
precise, like...
Yeah, they're so precisely built. And also at the same time, it's like the way they're aligned goes to some sort of constellation in the sky. Yeah. Which is fucking nuts.
Is it something to do with the north? I don't know. Something to do with stars aligned.
So ancient...
Might be talking shit on that one.
Yeah, basically the pyramids are actually aligned with Orion's belt in the sky. And then when a certain sun comes down on the 328th day of the year on a Sunday, every 28 million decades, it turns the world into pop rocks and candy floss. Alright, that's where he was going with that. Anyway, ancient astronaut theorists propose that the pyramids' alignment with celestial bodies such as Orion's belt, how weird, I was just pissing about, is not a mere coincidence. They argue that these alignments may have served as markers for beacons for extraterrestrial visitors.
Okay.
Additionally, with the recent release of UFO-related information by the US government, there is increased speculation about potential connections between ancient civilizations and extraterrestrial visitors. Some theorists believe that the government's disclosure of UFO-related information may be a step towards acknowledging ancient encounters with advanced beings. There's a whole TV show about it. It's called Ancient Aliens. Like, and the thing is, you can't get away from the fact that every civilization, every ancient civilization, ever since they've been able to write or draw, aliens have been there. You know,
there's always been some
every form of text. There's been aliens. That cannot be coincidental.
No.
You know, it's like the ancient Aztecs, the Egyptians, like all of these civilizations, all they had to do is literally...
They got like the pictures and
stuff.
stuff,
Yeah, they carve on a wall.
Yeah.
And it's there. And you've got like, even the Egyptian stuff, they've literally got carvings of like spacesuits.
Nuts. It is fucking
like,
trippy, isn't it?
Like, how? Like, how? And, like, the thing is, you've got certain people who come out and they speak out and they get fucking terrorized for it, and it makes it so hard.
You
to
tomorrow morning.
yeah, people are gonna listen to this. I'm gonna be unfriended on Facebook, Instagram. Well, I don't give a fuck. No, which takes us on to probably the biggest, most outspoken and controversial, and probably the biggest reason for some people to believe.
Yeah,
Bob Lazar.
Absolutely, Bob Lazar.
Because the thing with Bob Lazar is, as much as he's controversial and all this sort of stuff, a lot of what he says is true.
And it's coming true.
And is coming true and has been proven.
Because...
So,
all right.
Do you want me to run through just some points about his background and all that, and then you go through like the full sort of...
Well, I'll go for my bits, because there's nothing like that.
So, Bob Lazar was born on January 26th, 1959. In the Coral Gables, Florida. He attended the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. But there are also disputes about this. They tried to wipe him from the records and that, but again, there's been visible evidence that he went there. So it's like, So, Bob Lazar claimed he worked at something called S4, Sector 4 at Area 51. So when you look at Area 51 in the desert, it's cut up into like squares and sectors, right? And each sector does its own thing. So in 1989, Bob Lazar appeared in an interview with investigative journalist George Knapp in a Las Vegas television station. Bob Lazar claimed that he had been employed by the US government to work on reverse engineering alien spacecraft at a secret facility known as S4, located near Area 51 in Nevada. He alleged that he worked on 9 different flying saucers of extraterrestrial origin, specifically from a star system called Zeta Reticuli.
Was it?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Lazar described the propulsion system of the spacecraft as using element 115, which generated a gravity field to manipulate the space-time continuum, essentially. Now, there's a lot of controversy and skepticism about Bob Lazar. So,
because everything you look up about him, it's all conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, conspiracy theorist Bob Lazar, and it's like he is literally 2 steps behind Alex Jones in the media's eyes.
Yeah,
Alex Jones is like the devil
with the shit that he said. I didn't write it down, the stuff that he said that's actually now come to light.
Well, Element 115, the Blackbird spaceship.
Yeah, because they said there was never Element 115. Wasn't there?
So they said Element 115 didn't exist. Da 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 da. He said it did. Put it out, and then a few years later, it was found. Mm-hmm. He also released documents about high secret military aircraft, things like the Blackbird, whatever bombers and all that, which no one knew about, and then boom, boom, boom was a thing. So he's come through with a lot of things. He's constantly being monitored. You watch his documentary, and he's literally had...
He gets raided in the documentary, doesn't he?
His house is constantly raided for parts of these spaceships and shit like that, which he has, but he's got them well hidden, I reckon.
Yeah.
Parts of spaceships, he's looking at, they take his money. He's not allowed to appear here or there or there. And if he does a conference, it's they're there waiting for him.
Literally there.
He's literally the fucking I don't know.
He says, what he hasn't.
He's not committed a crime.
He hasn't gained anything out of it though.
Yeah.
He hasn't really.
He's gained being hated.
Yeah.
He's gained being ridiculed.
Yeah.
He's lost his career. I think he lost a marriage, if I'm correct.
But that's how they found it, because she was fucking cheating on him.
Yeah. And at the same time, the only thing he's done wrong, allegedly, was take something from the airbase, and there we go. But his life is turned upside down. So there's a bit, obviously, controversy and skepticism. I'll go through it. So, obviously, his claims have been met with a lot of skepticism. They've questioned his educational background and his employment history, although he told you... So what happened was, when he was working at S4 at Area 51, he told everybody about how they got in there. So there was a specific system.
Was it a hand scanner?
Before they were in the public eye, before they were anything.
Yeah, and this is another thing.
Yeah. So he drew it. He knew the model of it. He knew technical details about it. Lo and behold, a few years later, what's there? These hand scanners. If he didn't work there, how the fuck would he know?
Yeah.
You know? So they've told him he didn't work there. They told him he didn't even go to these fucking colleges and institutes.
They tried to delete him from, like, literally erase him from these colleges,
Yeah,
isn't it?
they literally, they deleted his fucking, like, everything. They say that obviously nothing he's done has been independently verified, but that's because the only people who are going to verify it is the government, who will take it and hide it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's like saying, oh, just so you know, policeman John stabbed my missus, but the guy who's coming to pick up evidence is policeman John.
Yeah.
You wouldn't give it to him because you know he's going to change it, you know? And obviously the scientific community, unfortunately, they generally dismiss him as basically a crackpot and a quack, you know?
Yeah, because they're always going to go with the government anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, despite his hatred and controversy, he's got
still to this day
so many followers.
Yeah, still to this day, he goes by that same story. He
goes
hasn't
by what
changed
he
the
says.
story once.
And if you listen to his story from the first interview he done to the latest interview, it's exactly the same. And if Joe Rogan can believe somebody, so can I. So he's got a significant following, public attention. He's had a few documentaries. They were featured in a documentary in 1995, where he sort of had his own documentary. He's only recently brought out a new one.
Is that the one with Jeremy Corbell?
Yes.
Area 51 and Aliens?
Yeah, something like that. It's really good. It's on Netflix. I watched it.
Yeah, it's called Area 51 Aliens and Flying Saucers. So yeah, I'd definitely go and check that one out because it is good. Out. Like, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's really hard to like disagree with it. Like,
because
obviously,
like in like how he got started with it was he was like really good at building things. Like he built
like a rocket car.
So
he basically put a fucking jet plane engine
on a car,
and then that's when the government came to him and were like, "Oh, you're kind of cool," and then bang, there he goes.
Yeah.
And it's like, the story he tells is so in depth. He says he believes that he's seen the beings. He's, been walking through rooms and there's like aliens in there and all this shit. Like, so his claims are, they are extraordinary. They are. But the way he tells it, the fact he's still telling the same story, and the way he presents himself, and he's old as fuck now, right? Unless on his deathbed he's going to be like, I got you, fuckers.
No.
But he's not. And his life is upside down. He's gone through turmoil and torment his whole life. Why would you?
Yeah.
For what clout? For what?
Yeah. He could have just turned around and said, I've made it up, and then been done with it. Do you know what I mean? But he hasn't. He's like, nah.
Yeah, and, they've put him on the same sort of list, I believe, as Alex Jones, your Tommy Robinsons, all those people. He's on the same list of, let's not let him talk. But now, I think, as a people are, for lack of a better term, waking up, and
because the information's more accessible now.
Yeah, so you can see so much. Like, if you literally go on any website and type in aliens, there'll be a video. There will be something, and more accessible information. And people are realizing the government lie.
Yeah,
people are realizing the government hide shit, and I think that's why they've done the disclosure. I think they know it's like not it's coming like an invasion or anything, but like I think they know.
You never know. Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, I think they know that people are waking up enough to believe it, so that they're getting us ready.
Yeah,
for the full disclosure. I think they're getting us ready to be like, boom, just
a bit at a time, and we're not paying attention to it either.
No, so then. Yeah,
it's like, not really on the. And then the thing was it in Mexico where the two alien bodies?
Yep. And then also there was when was it? There was a date. There's a specific date. It was like in a mall, like in America, where there was like apparently this like slight alien invasion.
Yes,
and it was
was that the Miami Mall thing?
Yeah. And
when they said it was the kids, but actually it was like 5, and they went tall and all this shit, and then they started disappearing, like the pool stuff that you was on about earlier.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, the fucking military that went there were not there to handle children. No. Do you know what I'm saying? They were not there to handle a little mall scuffle. People report seeing fucking laser beams going across it. It was like the end of Stranger Things season 3, mate. Like, this is what they report. It was like fucking laser beams and crazy shit and alien shit. And then the government went in and they rolled in fucking heavy duty shit. And then they turn around and they're like, yeah, it was just kids.
Yeah.
Like,
come on.
Are you joking? It's like the Battle of Los Angeles. Have you seen the movie Battle? Right.
No.
Essentially, it's a massive alien invasion movie. But there's actual like reports that there was something like that in LA, but it's all been covered up.
Okay.
Like there's like military personnel say it and all this, which is crazy to think, because if there was a full battle, you would probably know it. And this is the problem. There's such far-fetched shit and then such normalized shit that it makes it really hard to find a middle ground and talk about it and people to understand it. But at the same time, where did all these ideas come from? If you're thinking, if you just sit there and you just talk about films, you just talk about TV shows, where does all the ideas come from?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it's always the same being.
It's as if it's like slowly being drip fed to the human race, so that when they think we're ready, they can put it out on us. You know?
Yeah, and they'll be like, well, we did tell you.
Yeah. And you're like,
fuck.
yeah. Oh, shit. Invasion, baby. So, yeah. I mean, what... Have you got anything else to sort of talk about, like, regarding... or do you just want to sort of, like, tell me how you feel, what you believe, all that sort of shit?
Yeah, I think gone over my notes, to be fair.
Like I say, a bit all over the gaff, little bits and bobs, little droplets here and there. And like I say, it's just...
But definitely go and check out that Bob Lazar fucking thing on... Because, like, even Jeremy Corbell, he's been on Rogan's podcast now maybe once or twice. Well, once with Lazar, he went on there. Bob Lazar was actually on Rogan's podcast. And then Jeremy Corbell's also, he's like a massive UFO, like, researcher. He does it, like, him and George Knapp, I think, went on it. Who... Yeah, was with... Yeah. He was the reporter who let it all out for Bob Lazar. He was the only person who was willing to go, do you know what? Fuck it, I believe you. Let's go. Yeah. Essentially. Yeah. But yeah, so, like, what are aliens? What do you think? Like, what are aliens? Don't know.
Have they visited us? Do you reckon they've been to this planet?
Yeah. Okay. But are they underwater? Are they...
Again, we've only... How much of the ocean have we fucking explored? We've
explored more of the space than we have... we've only explored 5%.
Haven't been to the moon.
We've only explored 5% of the ocean.
Some stupid shit like that. So these, for lack of a better term, alien...
But then again, like, with the ocean shit, we... All of a sudden, we was like going to go and explore the ocean, and it's like all of a sudden, stop that. No, we're going to go space. What was that reason?
Listen to this. Just had a thought. Just become super explorative of the ocean, right? We stopped in space. We got to the moon. Oh, yeah, we've conquered it, apparently. And then we're like, nah, fuck it. Do you know what? The sea is where it's at. We get to the point where we start exploring the sea at a good level, then what happens? There's millionaires get in a submarine and they fucking die. Is that not... Could that not be, like, a reason to stop? You know?
Oh, what? Scare, like
yeah.
Oh, no, we can't
do
that.
Yeah, that's it.
We can't go down there at that depth because...
That's literally just entered my head, but imagine. Like, you know...
Put people off.
Yeah, it's just a reason to go, actually, no, we don't need to go any deeper. You know? Like, all of this shit. And that's where... This is why it's so frustrating that we know...
We know fuck all.
The powers that be lie.
Yeah.
It's so it's so frustrating, because then everything that happens, you can go, is this why? Did they do this to make this? And you can put puzzle pieces together.
Yeah.
And it's like
bits like click together. Like
yeah. And then you have like instant thoughts, and you're like, what the fuck? It's crazy, baby. Okay, cool. So you believe they've been here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
They're here now, or I believe a bit of everything, really.
Okay.
A bit of interdimensional, a bit of they're here already.
So I personally believe they've been. I believe the pyramids were definitely something to do with aliens, UFOs, UAPs, all that sort of shit, 100%. I don't see any way that we could have built these structures in the way they're built, how they're built back then.
There's a bit like with Stonehenge, though. Like
yeah.
Like, I don't believe that's... Don't
they believe the rocks are from fucking Wales or something?
Yeah.
Fucking
like,
hell.
They were carried from Wales. Like, people carried them. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
them
it's
rocks
crazy.
are hinge, man.
And then you've got, obviously, certain places where, like you were saying earlier, you've got people who can you know, they believe they can summon UFOs, all that sort of shit. Now, with that being said, there is tricks of the mind, you know, the hypnotism, that sort of stuff, where they could get to you and make you think you're seeing something as well, you know. So with that, it's dubious. I think they've definitely been. I think. Do you think it's being hidden? Do you think there's?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, 100%.
So, what do you think about Area 51? What do you think Area 51 is?
I think at the start that's where they were doing all their main stuff.
Right.
But I think now it's become with the public eye. It's too many eyes on it.
Yeah.
It's gone somewhere else. Or
It's gone down. Porting down.
Anyway, literally. Don't know.
So I'm sort of in the same lines as you. I think the height of Area 51 would have been around the Roswell sort of time era, Bob Lazar sort of time era. And then I do genuinely believe that, like you say, they've moved it somewhere else, somewhere top secret, and they're keeping the facade up of Area 51 to keep us interested.
Yeah.
You know,
it's probably it's all underground, isn't it?
Yeah, so underground bunkers and shit.
Bunkers, yeah.
So again, that's another topic to talk about one day because that's fucking nuts. But like, you know, you still can't drive anywhere near Area 51 without fucking being threatened to be shot and shit.
Yeah.
But again, that's all of. I think that's all of fast to just keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Oh, what is Area 51? What's in there and all this sort of shit.
Well, I'm guessing it's a tourist attraction now, so it brings the revenue in.
Exactly.
Them now.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And where Area 51 is, the businesses around it would not be able to stay open if it wasn't Area 51. You know, so it's a livelihood. You know, it's like that fucking those people where they kicked them out like near Area 51 because they wanted to buy their property and they were so close to Area 51, but these people denied, and then they got sued to fuck and got made to move out. It's weird. There's so much shit that happens. Okay, cool. So that's if they're here, Area 51. So you believe Bob Lazar, don't you?
I do believe Bob Lazar.
I believe Bob Lazar.
100% believe Bob Lazar.
The sightings on the internet, percentage-wise, how many do you reckon are real?
A lot. Probably a lot. The thing is,
I would go around 9%.
I don't know.
I reckon around about 9.
Because everyone's got a camera nowadays, so
But
how do you know which one to believe and which one you don't know?
Well, that goes more to not believing something, doesn't it? The fact that everyone's got a camera now. Do you not think? So when I look at, you look at ghosts, you look at Bigfoot, you look at fucking skinwalkers, all of this sort of shit. Surely everyone's got a camera now. Why has none of it been captured?
Maybe it can't be captured.
Maybe. Some people believe Bigfoot's an alien.
Interdimensional being, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which again, we don't know. Fucking, if you think about simulation theory, go back to that. Different dimensions, different levels, different games, different players, bang, bang. If you're... Unfortunately, with like these, for lack of a better term, conspiracies, if you're in on one, you've got to be in on most of them. Because if you sit there to me and you say, I believe in simulation theory, then you have to believe in aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, all of that, because anything can be entered into a game, you know? Which is crazy. I think around about 9% are probably true. I think they do come down.
It was not long ago, in America, was it in America somewhere, where the mate boy reported have one in his back garden. And there's actual video footage of that, and that shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Trippy shit.
We have to get deeper into it. But we only get an hour to do these things, so you know. Final thoughts from me. Aliens, I believe in them. They exist. Fucking come see me, say hi, put something on my bum. I'm here for it. Whoa, that was maybe not.
Yeah.
Don't put anything on
Imagine
my
you go disappearing tonight, and be like,
It'd be the best podcast episode ever for you. I've got live evidence. Josh said come get him and he's disappeared. Way, Jay Slater, what? Maybe that's what happened. No, he's dead. Unlucky.
Is he actually dead?
Yeah, they found him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Boom. That is it from us. Now, I did put on Instagram, does anybody have any icks? And I think we got at least one response. Someone put, they just hate the fact, so a massive sort of pet peeve of theirs is clothing labels, how big they're getting. You know, like T-shirts and stuff when you buy them, and it's fucking label in the back.
Labelled on the side as well.
Yeah, and there's like always more than one, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and they're fucking irritating.
Yeah.
You have to cut them out with scissors. Like this one's got one. It really irritates me.
Okay.
I need to cut it out with some scissors. So that's someone's. Anything pet peeved you this week?
People like when they say they're gonna do something, like I don't know, fucking the on time thing is a massive pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, same.
It annoys the fuck out of me. If you say you're gonna be there at 1:30, I expect you to be at 1:30.
Oh no, 26
no
minutes
later.
past. If you're
no later.
26 minutes
and if
past,
you
I'm
say like
leaving.
you're gonna call me, I'll call you at this time, mate. No worries. You call me at that time. If I'm there, like, cause I will stand there like a cunt looking at my fucking phone, like waiting for a phone call.
You're looking at me as if I've done
No,
that.
no.
I'm sat there thinking, what have I done recently? I did say I might come around and help you move the second day, and I didn't. But, you know.
Oh, fucking hell. It's like someone's not moving soon. Fucking back's hurting, actually. But no. Yeah, that's my pet peeve.
My pet peeve of the week that has happened to me this week is, you know, when you see somebody who you sort of know, you don't really want to talk to them, but then they like stop and they have like full-blown conversations with you and you just can't wait to get away. Do you know what I mean? So like, I was walking to the shop the other day, for an example, and someone I don't really like want to be seen talking to, or like they're just not my type of person, and they like come up to me and start like asking about my family and stuff and like my kids and that, and I'm like,
oh, you've gone proper upmarket now then. Don't even speak to the minions anymore. You like fucking.
Nah, but you know what I mean. Like you're just like, bro, like we're at the point where you can give them the awkward nod.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, yeah, how you doing? You're alright. Or you walk past them, alright, mate. Yeah, yeah, alright, mate. And that's it.
Yeah.
We're not on that level. We're not there.
Your mum's still in like size 8 pants. Oh yeah, mate. Yeah, no.
How many pills? Have you had any shits today, mate? Yeah, I've had 2. Yeah, how was the wipe? Yeah, it was alright. First one, second one got a bit heavy. It was a ring stinger. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to know my life. So that really fucks me off. Like, if I'm close enough to you for that, you'll fucking know, because we'll talk on a like bi-weekly basis. I'll have you scheduled in. Anyway, with that, it's been a intense. I appreciate you all listening. If you've got this far, please remember to subscribe to our YouTube, like, follow, rate, review, all that sort of jazz,
and give us feedback on our new.
Let us know how you feel about like the format and stuff. If it's
but the new software stuff that we use and
the
new reels and
shorts,
shit.
reels.
Yeah.
So we're upgrading. We're moving to a studio soon, so we will try and be better.
The fucking new studio fucking chair better not give me piles like this one does.
We've got a sofa, baby. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna be
Jesus.
legit. So yeah, and again, just let us know what you think of the episodes, because like we're doing different things. So like we're doing like a little bit of like conspiracy type shit.
Yeah.
We're doing a little bit of like crypto type shit. We're doing a little bit of like social shit. We're just like mixing all this stuff together, and we will keep mixing it together and doing what we want to talk about, because essentially we're doing this because we enjoy doing it, nothing else. So if 10 people watch it or 10,000 people watch it, it makes no odds. We prefer the 10,000. But yeah, other than that, have a good day. Peace.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.